Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or whenever you're watching this video. My name is Dr. Freed, and today I'm going to talk to you about the bow. This thing, it's a bow. So let's talk about the bow. The bow has to be prepared before you use it. It involves tightening the bow, loosening the bow, rosining the bow, using the bow. Let's talk about tightening and loosening. Hold the bow in your left hand. So it's kind of like this. And you turn it away from you to tighten the bow. To loosen the bow, you turn it towards you. Oops. Good thing that was there. Now it's loose. When the bow is loose, you should be able to see the individual hairs. Oh, this bow needs more hair. Let's try this one. Okay, this bow has enough hair. We can loosen it. That's too loose. See, it's getting separation there. And then we can tighten it. Now, you're probably figuring, how's too loose, too tight? Well, okay. So here's a few more tips. You cannot touch the hair with the front of your hand. It gets oily, and then oil on the hair, it won't stick. You want it to stick to the strings. So you can test it on the back of your hand. If it's too loose, like this, you see it's really close. It's just gonna flop. So if you tighten it a little bit more, notice it still has a curve. You want it to have that curve. Yeah, that's a little better. Now, to rosin your bow, what's rosin it? To rosin the bow, it's the same thing. You want to hold this in your left hand and in your right hand. Just do this like you were bowing, right? Now, of course, the first time you use a bow, and there's always a first time, it may need a lot more rosin and may need a real lot more rosin just the first time. But after that, it should be, once the hair has been rosined, it should be pretty good to go. Now, how is it too tight? If it's too tight, it looks kind of like this. You see, it's up. It's not curved down. It's curved up. That's way too tight. Now, the problem is that depending on the bow, sometimes it's not. It's always a little bit different with every bow. Okay, notice I'm turning it away. Now, when you're bowing, you want to bow between the bridge and the fingerboard and keeping it straight. You want the bow straight. Right? In order to do that, you need to use your forearm, this thing. I gotta get back a little bit here. Forearm. Right, rather than your shoulder. Because if you use the shoulder, right, you're going to get that. If you use the forearm, you can keep it straight. You can keep it straight. That's going to take practice. Let's talk a little more about the bow. This is called the tip. This is called the frog. This is your adjuster. I was taught this was the leather, Now, the grip for the bow involves these two fingers, right? The thumb and the middle finger. Now, the regular grip is in here, inside the ferrule. Just kind of grip it like this. Where's that? Yeah, okay. And then pinky's like here. It's still around the first knuckle. That's the regular grip. Now, there are some other easier grips. I've seen people do this kind of grip, where they just kind of grip it like this. But that, again, makes it harder to use the forearm to keep the bow straight. Then there's also this grip, which is kind of like the same thing. But where do you put your hand here? All right, we must find the balance point of the bow. So we hold our steady, find that balance point here. Each bow will be slightly different. And the trick for that is you got to hold it steady. Why do we want to find out where the balance point is? Well, we want to understand our bow. We notice that half the weight is here, but look at all that length over there. Look at all that length. Ooh. Okay, so you want to grip the bow around here for your easier grip, and let's take a look at, here it is. Okay, so our easy grip, again, it's our thumb here, and we just put around here to the first knuckles. Oh, let's try it this way. Yeah, okay, that's an easy grip. As I said, I've seen this easy grip too, you know, like this, something like this. I didn't learn that. I just have the regular grip. Pinky there. Okay, so let's look at that. Now, bowing. Why do we bow anyway? Well, we can initiate the sound with a pluck, of course. We can initiate with a pluck, and that gives you instant sound, but it doesn't sustain the sound. You can't really make a long note, anything long at all. It's a very short sound, right? But it's immediate. On the bow, let's make sure I'm using the right one here. You can do quarter notes, half notes, whole notes. So you can do notes of different length when you've got the bow. And it is the main thing you use. Now when you're done with the bow, okay, you've got to loosen it. So again, hold it this way and just loosen it up until you see just basically a little bit of hair. Just, you know. And yeah, that's too loose. Right? Every bow is slightly different, and that's a fact, you know. So you have to, like, learn your instrument. You got to learn your bow, and you'll figure it out. Now, the bow can go on the stand, in your hand, or in the case, right? So you can leave the bow in your hand. Try not to get too many things in your hand too much, because that's how things break, right? You start putting things in your hands. So again, to review, this is the bow. This is called the tip. This is called a frog. This is the ferrule where we put our fingers. And just, okay, that's a bow grip. Keep the bow straight before it's too late. Now, another thing when you bow is we don't put the violin on our necks. We don't put them on our clavicles. See, this is good, you can see, but no. You gotta put it up here. You gotta look, turn your head to look if you wanna look. Now, if you want, you can put a little piece of tape straight across here. There are all kinds of helpful, you know, things you can get for keeping the bow straight, but just watch, you know. Yeah, this bow's a little too loose right now. It's still making a sound. Any questions? I think that covers it. Thank you so much.